determined to succeed, as fixed on a prize, nothing can stop her. She's all out, inspired every eye, and never will give up until at the top the world is an oyster. Sedulous woman, the new girl boss. Sedulous woman, the new girl boss, impacting our world. That's the way it goes. See you at the top where we all belong. Oh, I'm sedulous. Oh, I'm sedulous. Oh, I'm sedulous. Sedulous, sedulous woman, the new girl boss. Sedulous woman, the new girl boss, impacting our world. That's the way it goes. See you at the top where we all belong.
Okay, hi everyone. It's 12:01 and I'm going to start. I still see that we have people joining, but just so that we kind of keep the time, I'm just going to go ahead. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the iLaunchHERproduct information session, where we will be having a conversation about the program. We will be hearing from our partners, and we'll also give room to everyone here to ask questions that regards to the product. I want to especially thank all of our partners today for accepting to be part of this conversation this afternoon. There's plenty other places you could have been, but you chose to be here. Thank you so much. This conversation around the subject topic is long overdue, particularly within the target audience our organizations cater for on a daily basis. I'm sure we will agree. I would want to encourage all of us to please introduce ourselves. Take the next 2-3 minutes to introduce yourselves in the comment section. Let's put in our names, our cities, where we're calling in from, and then that way we can get to know each other a little bit better. If we have any plans for summer, please feel free to drop that in the chat as well. Let's share ideas here. Before we begin, I would like to first and foremost acknowledge that the work that we do takes place on the traditional Treaty 8 territory, the homeland of the many diverse First Nations and the Métis people whose ancestors have walked this land since time immemorial. Our city chapters across Canada similarly gather on the traditional territory of many of Canada's Indigenous nations who have cared for these lands since time immemorial. I am Tala Jimo, City of Calgary Director of the Sedulous Women Leaders, an initiative of Simply Ejiola Incorporated. The Sedulous Women Leaders is on a mission to uplift every Black female immigrant woman, women of color entrepreneurs, or anybody who identifies as female in Canada by providing them with premier business resources, support, funding, and business growth opportunities. Before I let Ejiola take the virtual screen, I'd like to remind us that the business opportunities, business expansion, and growth potentials are what the women entrepreneurs we serve daily yearn for. And I'd like to encourage us to leave this information session with the mindset to help to do just that and to commit to raising the voice of every immigrant woman or persons who identify as women in Canada, whether Black, women of color, or however, again, like I said, they identify, where they can be seen, heard, supported, and elevated to a place of success and prosperity. The results of the action we take after this information session, and most especially after the program application deadline, will push some Black-owned brands, some women of color-owned brands, and some immigrant-owned brands to become the future of retail business in Canada, a feat that has been seen as one too hard to accomplish. I will now welcome Ejiola to talk a bit more about this. Ejimola, you can take over the virtual screen. Again, welcome everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ejibola. As you all know, 2020 to date has brought to light so much business awareness, business challenges, and it's giving us reason to go deeper and to move in a more meaningful direction when it comes to business in Canada. A lot has gone into the education, the training, the coaching of entrepreneurs in a bid to encourage and empower them to structure their business right. We see a lot of funding and grant opportunities now available across Canada. We are beginning to see entrepreneurs operate with a sense of ownership of what their brand is all about. We now see entrepreneurs talk about their brand persona in such confidence and the boldness to scale up. And that brings us to today's information session. How do these entrepreneurs, how do they scale up? How are we available for them in scaling up? How do they expand beyond their cities, their province, and even Canada? What are the challenges and barriers that is holding them down in achieving this next level of business success? What are we as an organization doing to help businesses across Canada scale up and grow? What are we doing to help remove the limitations to business growth? How are we negotiating the pathway to make this business growth happen? Ladies and gents, because I see a gentleman here, I introduce you to iLaunchHERproduct, a new growth project, first of its kind in Canada, which is aimed at connecting women entrepreneurs with buyers from different industries. And we are not leaving some businesses behind, right? We are not leaving businesses that engage in services behind. This project launched on Friday, June the 25th, 2021, with a time frame up until December of 2022. We have decided to spread it over 18 months just to get you perfectly settled into the retail world. In the next couple of months, we shall have our entrepreneurs going on an amazing journey into retail experience. We currently have 5 business organizations on board this amazing project. These organizations are partners with us on this project, and they shall make available their resources, their system, manpower, network, everything in making this project a success. This project is in 2 phases. Phase 1 entails the recruitment, the information session we're having today, a possible bank approval for business credit card for the entrepreneurs. I'm sure you all agree with me that it is that tough and worrisome, the process that is involved in obtaining a business credit card. So hopefully we can get more women having a business credit card to run and to begin to have credit for their business. With the phase 2, we're looking into moving our retail ready entrepreneurs and moving them and helping them to face the buyers and have a product conversation. There will be adequate training to prepare us for this. Our partner organizations will be in charge of a lot of the process, and the entire project will take place virtually. For those businesses in the services industry, we have you covered too, with 2 workshops dedicated to you in September. Myself and our partner representative from the government will be hoping, from the government and from EDC, BDC, and everyone here will be open to your question after we listen to them speak to us in a minute. I'll bring in Lola Olorunfemi to help coordinate the next segment of this information section. Lola.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? My name is Lola Olorunfemi. I am the City Director of the Sedulous Women Leaders. iLaunchHERproduct will never have gotten to this stage, but for the support of partners like you here today, who have been willing and intentional to align themselves to the vision and the goals of the iLaunchHER project. Thank you for coming on board on this amazing and phenomenal project. and making history with us. Our gratitude goes out to the Business Development of Canada, BDC, Export Development Canada, EDC, TD Bank, We Connect International, Trade Commission Service, and lastly, Office of Small and Medium Enterprise, the Public Service and Procurement of Canada. Our partners, will speak on their involvement on this project and how their resources and capability and expertise will bring help to these women to achieve this project and its aim and how they aim to achieve this. So I would start by welcoming Marina Matthew, the Advisor, Sponsorship and Events Management, BDC, to take on the stage. Welcome, Marina.
Thank you, Lola. Thank you, Ejibola. I am super excited to be here today. I know we have been working, well, your team has been working on this for longer than us, but we've been on the train since March, I believe. So we are super, super happy to be partners on this amazing project. So just quickly, let me introduce what BDC is, what we do, and what's our role within this project. I'm super, super excited to see all the faces here and great participation. So I cannot wait to hear your questions. So as Canada's Bank for Entrepreneurs, BDC's purpose is to ensure that all entrepreneurs have access to the resources, financing, advice, networks, and tools they need to succeed. Diversity and inclusion have been part of our business strategy since the start, and our commitment started internally with a measurable action plan and extended to our client diversity strategy, which ensures that all entrepreneurs can thrive in the Canadian entrepreneurial ecosystem. In partnership with public and private sector players, we take a relationship-driven approach to help fill market gaps facing underserved groups of business owners, including, but not only, Indigenous entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, newcomer entrepreneurs, LGBTQ2+ entrepreneurs, and other underserved entrepreneurs. Our commitment is to listen to what entrepreneurs need, learn by working with organizations that serve these communities, like the Sedulous women leaders, and then act to provide tangible solutions. In addition, we are committed also to building a diverse and inclusive supply chain through our supplier diversity program and helping to promote the value of diversity certification. Now, our role within the iLaunchHERproduct project is to guarantee the cohort chosen is well accompanied and has everything they need to succeed. We will be sharing key tools and resources to ensure your collaboration with important buyers is a success. We will also host workshops during the business readiness training alongside the other partners. We are here to help and support based on your needs, as I said earlier, at every step of this journey that I cannot wait to see unravel. And I invite you all to visit our website if ever you have any questions, if you want to dig deeper or learn about what we do. It's at bdc.ca. If not, you can contact me on LinkedIn and I'll direct you to the right people. That being said, I'll pass the mic to Lola, and thank you so much for giving me a little time to talk about what BDC is doing on this project.
Thank you so much, Marina. Thank you. And up next, we have Jennifer Cook, Director and Inclusive Trade and National Lead, Women in Trade EDC. Please go ahead, Jennifer.
Excellent. Thank you, Lola, and thank you, Ejibola. It's a real pleasure to be here today and to get the opportunity to say a few words. As Lola mentioned, I'm Jennifer Cook, and I'm the Director of Inclusive Trade at Export Development Canada, or known as EDC. And one pillar, of course, within our inclusive trade strategy is our commitment to supporting more women-owned and women-led businesses in trade as well as other historically underrepresented and underserved Canadian entrepreneurs. And as such, it's really, really important for us to support initiatives such as this new project, iLaunchHERproduct, in partnership with the Sedulous women leaders. I also have a couple of other colleagues on the line with me today that you'll notice. Miriam Bugrasa, who is a marketing manager for Women in Trade here at EDC, and Carolyn Carson, who's also a lead for inclusive trade in our stakeholder relations team. And together, we work to really bring EDC's tools and resources, working in partnership in the ecosystem, to more women-owned and led diverse businesses in Canada. So what does EDC do? Essentially, our job is to help Canadian companies do business successfully in international markets. And today, more than ever, EDC is committed to engaging and supporting, as I said, more women-owned and women-led businesses to access new markets and to succeed globally. And we're really doing it with intention. As Canada's export credit agency, basically we're Canada's international risk experts, and we have deep, deep knowledge of international trade and global buyers that enables us to help customers navigate risks and to export confidently. We offer many tools such as credit insurance or loan guarantees that help you make smarter risks and smarter decisions, and also offer knowledge solutions and tools to help you navigate and find new customers in international markets. There's really many misconceptions about exporting, and we hear them all the time, particularly amongst women entrepreneurs. For example, that you have to be a large company to be able to export. But in fact, EDC supports companies of all sizes and in all sectors, that are doing business around the world. And so that's really, really important, especially today when a global mindset is really required. We've seen from the pandemic this need for acceleration of getting your business online, to have a platform to sell your products through digital tools and e-commerce. And the benefit of that is actually that it's accelerating companies in accessing new markets, because e-commerce is global business. And so we know there's been many studies, and from what we know from customers that are exporting or selling to customers outside of Canada, the long and short of it is that companies do better. They have, they're more diversified, they have a broader range of customers, they're more competitive, and they stay in business longer. And so we know that having more women exporters is great for our communities and great for our economy. And the basis of EDC's Women in Trade strategy is based on 5 key pillars. And this is part of what we're doing as part of iLaunchHERproduct. And those 5 pillars include building awareness and inspiring more women entrepreneurs to think globally, to understand exporting, and to better understand EDC and the resources that are available to help you, to provide education and knowledge so that you have the skills and the tools that you need to sell into large supply chains and ultimately to export your products with confidence. The 3rd pillar of our strategy is to provide connections, both to the ecosystem of organizations that support you. And we work in partnership with each and every one of those partners in the ecosystem, including all of those that are part of iLaunchHERproduct, as well as to opportunities internationally. We enable entrepreneurs with the financial tools you need to grow and empower you with our corporate support for gender equality and women's economic empowerment. We've dedicated resources, we've got people committed and champions across our organization ready to support more women entrepreneurs. And I really look forward to engaging with all the businesses that take part in iLaunchHERproduct to, as I say, help you access the tools and resources to help you be successful and to realize your global potential. I hope you'll join us and learn more as we go along this journey. Thank you so much. I'll hand it back to you, Lola.
Can you all hear me? Thank you so much. Thank you, Jennifer. for that well-informed session. And next, we've got Deborah Sharonfant, Regional Manager, Women Entrepreneurs from TD Bank. Please take it away, Deborah.
Thank you very much, Lola. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you virtually on the screen. So as Lola mentioned, my name is Deborah. I work for TD, where I'm responsible for the region of Quebec and also the Atlantic region of our new Women Entrepreneur segment. And Marina said it best. I'm really excited to be here to see everyone connected and to see your interest for such a program. And I just want to say that there are multiple reasons why TD decided to join forces with the Sedulous women leaders for this program. And I also like to thank Ejiobola for allowing us to be part of the partners, and also thank you for my fellow collaborators, EDC, BDC, and the women and the people who will be speaking after me. So thank you for collaborating on this exciting and very needed, I would say, program for BIPOC women and immigrant women across the country. And as I was mentioning, there are multiple reasons why TD decided to join forces with this program. One of them is the diversity aspect. I think a lot of you may know that at TD, diversity and inclusion are part of our core values or priorities. And this is something that we've been involved in for the last 15, 20 years with different actions, but also mostly supporting initiatives such as iLaunchHER program. The second reason is the Women Entrepreneur segment, because we've been very much involved supporting clients, supporting women, and just the last 2 years, we've been working on the segment to be able to facilitate the success of women entrepreneurs. So this is very important to us, very important to me as a professional, as a person, and this is really exciting for me to be here today. I think the third reason would be because as part of the segment, Women Entrepreneur segment that we're working on, supply diversity has been from the beginning one of the core values, priorities as well for us to help women grow their businesses, and to see a program that focuses on that aspect for us only makes much more sense, I would say. The fourth reason is, I was going to say the fact that it's led and run by, of course, a Black woman, a Black entrepreneur. Of course, it did add to the success of our partnership, and I can only hope that it will remain the same. And the We Connect International, of course, collaboration that the Sedulous woman is putting together as part of the training, only added a seal of approval, I would say, to our partnership, because we've been working ourselves with We Connect International. And I can't wait to see, I think it's Stephanie who will be joining us later in a few minutes to speak on the collaboration. So we've been working with We Connect to train women across the country, not only in Quebec, and also to build programs specifically designated to help women entrepreneurs become suppliers for large corporations, and also see how they can grow their company. So for us, it's really, it makes sense, and it covers a lot of points. Included in our partnership, as Ejiobola mentioned, probably you'll have questions at the end, and I'm not going to go into a lot of details right now during this intro, but know that our support is, of course, the information to give out services, but as part of the financial products that we've put together, know that you can have access to a business account with annual rebates, and also different aspects for a year. For example, waiver fees if you have like a terminal at the business that usually costs money, so we're able to provide that free of charge for a year. And Ejiobola mentioned the credit card. Of course, our team is prepared to analyze and also be able to approve ASAP, I want to say, your demand for a credit card to be able to have that first history of credit. That is something that a lot of women historically, but specifically immigrant people, have struggled with when they arrive in the country, and that is something very important, and that we are eager to see some barriers lifted in that area. So I don't want to say like for the 10th time how excited I am to be here today. Can't wait for your questions, and reach out. Feel free to reach out. I'll share my email address on the chat section as well. and feel free to reach out on LinkedIn or via email. So thank you everyone for signing in, and right back to you, Lola.
Thank you, Deborah. That was, thank you. Very well said, Deborah. Thank you so much for that. And next we've got Stephanie Fontaine, the Regional Director for the US and Canada We Connect International. Please go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Okay, now we can hear you.
I got a little pop-up that my microphone wasn't working. All right, so I'm, as the others have said, I'm thrilled to be here today, and I'm thrilled to be part of this amazing project to deliver on the vision of Ejiobola. And I have to say, one of the reasons why we are here is because Ejiobola, having just met her not that long ago, actually, like, had such an amazing vision. Like it you know, from the very first day that I talked to her, it like the passion, the vision, all of it, I think that really speaks a lot to the reasons why, you know, we are here today. And of course, as the others have said, just supporting this group of women entrepreneurs, really important to us. So my name is Stephanie Fontaine, and yeah, I'm the Regional Director for WeConnect International in the US and Canada. So WeConnect International is a global network that connects women-owned businesses to qualified buyers around the world. Our mission is simple, but it's more complicated to do behind the scenes, but it's simple in that we help to drive money into the hands of women business owners by enabling them to compete in the global marketplace. To accomplish that mission, we are joined by approximately 130 multinational corporations that have commitments to diversifying their supply chains, and they are specifically looking as part of their supplier diversity programs to make more purchases from the women-owned businesses. So I'm thrilled to see not only the partners here in this project, you know, are supporting this initiative, but they are also members of WeConnect International and have their supplier diversity programs. So our work consists of three parts. So assessing, educating, and connecting women. So all around the world, we actively look for women business owners, and we assess their readiness to work with large buyers. So we look for products and services that corporations are looking to buy, and we help the women determine how ready they are to sell to them. Second, the education piece comes in. So for the businesses that want to work with these large corporations, we provide the resources, the tools, and specifically, we share how you can take advantage of the supplier diversity programs to get ahead of your competition. We do this through webinars, workshops, conferences, sharing success stories, and also making key connections with women who have done this before so they can share their experience. And then third, and most importantly, we are really focused on making those buyer-seller connections. And we will do that as part of this project. So we have in-person and virtual matchmaking sessions, meet the buyers, pitch sessions, and the goal is always to build relationships over time. And we also have technology, a platform called WeCommunity, where buyers and sellers can connect when they're not at an event. So we welcome women businesses in our community in two ways. Certification, which is a comprehensive audit that validates the ownership of your company, and registration, which is a more simple and free attestation that your business is 51% woman-owned. And as an iLaunchHERproduct participant, you will receive customized support to register your business and begin to access all the benefits, such as a business profile on We Community, the visibility to the buyers, news, resources, and lots of training opportunities. So we are making our resources and tools available. And even more exciting, as the project evolves into 2022, we will be offering special training and opportunities to this cohort to meet and pitch to some buyers and get your products out there in the world. So again, we're really, really excited to partner with everyone here, and especially we're looking forward to meeting all the women-owned businesses. Thank you. Back to you, Lola.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for that. That was amazing. I'm really thrilled. I will now welcome Chris Ritter from the Office of Small and Medium Enterprise, Public Services and Procurement Canada to speak to us. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you so much, Lola, and thank you, everyone. I can't tell you how thankful and grateful I am to be included in this today with all these incredible women leaders. I mean, the leaders of Sedulous women leaders who are leading this whole thing, the leaders that are the partners that are participating, and of course the leaders that are the businesses that are participating. I mean, everyone at every level here is a leader in their own right, and it's like all the other partners have said, it's very exciting. We're super happy to be here and to be a part of this. So thank you so much for including me and allowing me to be here as well. My title is extremely long. Because I'm part of the federal government and that's what we do. And so I try and use that to kind of explain what we do and who we are. So my name is Chris Ritter. I am the Chief of Stakeholder Engagement, which is part of the Office of Small and Medium Enterprise, which is part of Public Services and Procurement Canada. Now, what that all means is that Public Services and Procurement Canada is essentially the buying arm of the federal government. Our minister has a responsibility to do purchasing. Now, what she does is she actually delegates some of that authority to every single other department and agency out there. And so everybody has some of their own purchasing power in the federal government. When it's over their purchasing power, they send it over to our department, and we handle the solicitation and contracting on their behalf. Now, where our team becomes involved is we're an outreach team. We're a team designed, I know this sounds like a crazy concept from the federal government, but we are actually a team designed to help businesses navigate federal government procurement and selling to the federal government. Because, who are we kidding? It's a bit complicated. It's a bit complex. There's a few rules. And so we help businesses through presentations like this, through workshops, through webinars, through one-on-ones with businesses to help navigate that space. And that space is not just about being a direct contractor and selling to the federal government and being a contract holder. Sometimes it's about leveraging our information, our open data, to be a subcontractor or be in the supply chain and figure out how you might be able to be in the supply chain or be a contractor and consider the federal government as a client. So we do this in a variety of ways, like I said, with workshops and seminars. We do this, and ultimately starting off with some myth busting, busting some myths and perceptions out there about the federal government and how we buy and what we buy. Because the first thing is we buy anywhere from $22 to $24 billion a year. And while perception-wise, often when it's looked at, it's, oh, well, you buy Navy ships and you buy jet fighters and you build multi-billion-dollar bridges like the Champlain Bridge in Montreal and the Gordie Howe Bridge from Windsor to Detroit, and it's major giant corporations that win all the contracts. The actual reality is that close to 90% of our contracts are actually under $25,000 each. And close to a similar percentage actually go to small and medium enterprise. So it's quite surprising when we first hear that and when we talk to businesses and present that information, because it's, oh, well, maybe I can be a part of this. The other element is what we buy. We hear about the major IT infrastructure. We see in the news about the jet fighters and the construction and the this and the that. What we don't hear about is dog grooming. What we don't hear about is curtains and curtain rods and paint and plywood and actors and makeup artists and all these variety of contracts that are actually contracts out there to support the 100+ government department and agencies to run their programs. A few of those examples are straight out of Southern Alberta, Department of National Defense, Canadian Forces Base Suffield, that runs training for both Canadian and British troops, where they need these types of different contracts. There's training, I've been involved with everything from vaccine to office furniture to food procurement to rockets that cause avalanches on purpose for Parks Canada to picnic tables to custodial to an incredible variety. Now, do we buy everything? No. Do we buy everything? Kind of. There is lots and lots of things we do buy, and there's a multitude of variety of ways that we buy it. And so we want to be here to be able to share this information, to see if it's a right fit, to see if there's an opportunity to expand and consider the federal government as a potential client to expand your business, here in Canada, to maybe consider that view. Just as we started today talking about a company with a sauce, a hot pepper sauce. And so do we have a contract for hot pepper sauce? No, we don't. But do we have really large grocery contracts? Yes, we do. Do we have suppliers that have to provide an incredible volume, a list of groceries to be able to deliver to our federal forces bases as well as to the federal penitentiaries? Absolutely. Is there an opportunity for supply chain there? Perhaps. And we have the data to and show you how to use the data to find those that are in those contracts. As an example, there was a pepper company I met, and we actually connected that pepper company to the executive chef of the Governor's General Mansion. Because if anybody was going to buy a special pepper for special meals, it's probably them. We have catering contracts for diverse suppliers. We have food contracts. We've got a variety of things. And so we're here just to be able to share that information, help businesses as much as we can to participate. We certainly at the procurement level, at the federal level of procurement, we have a number of pilots happening. There's a request for information right now around for Canadian-owned and led, Canadian Black-owned led businesses. There's information around the Canadian Black Entrepreneurs Program. We've had some Black entrepreneur pilots for procurement. We believe there's a second round coming of those. There's another, there's going to be a pilot around women-owned businesses as well for specific procurements. So this is a continually evolving area, and we really want to be, here to support businesses in navigating that opportunity. So, thank you so much again for including me. Thank you for having me a part of this this conversation and this incredible project and initiative, and look forward to continuing on with all of you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for that. We look forward to working with you and your team in September. So now it's time for Q&A. So Ejibola will lead this segment, and thanks everyone for listening, and thank you for being present. So go ahead, Ejibola.
Thank you, everyone. Amazing conversation. Like, I've been listening to everybody talk, and I cannot say this enough. I am so glad that this baby is alive, and we need to let this baby grow strong. And by strong, I mean all the women here, I can't wait for your product to sit pretty on those retail shelves. I can't wait to go to some stores and take picture and say, yes, we launched a product in here. Like, that would give us the greatest joy and pride, like for women of color. I call it by work. Perhaps I should by work. Black women, immigrant women, women of color. So another acronym there. So we'll go straight into questions. Please feel free to add your questions into the comment section and I'll pick it from there. So there's a question for you, Chris. Does the government buy skincare products for their forces in base?
Fantastic question. I don't know. So really great question. And so and the way I'll answer that is a couple different ways. So one of the key fundamentals around government procurement and how we purchase is that the end user department will define that requirement. They will determine what they need. So if the forces base or is needing to buy that, then they will determine what that requirement is and go out and buy it. Now, if it's in their requirement, okay, if it's in and their authority to buy it themselves, I won't directly know. I would have to do some research on that, and that's tools that we show businesses how to navigate and search for that information. So as part as we get to the workshop parts of things like that, that's probably where I'll be doing some presentations and maybe some demonstrations on how to leverage that information. That is out there. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but it's do the forces bases do it? Perhaps. Does Correctional Services of Canada for the federal institutions do it? Perhaps. The forces have an online retail operation for their forces members called Canex. And that is a place that I've directed some retail products and services businesses to connect with them to perhaps be able to sell through that platform, to be able to sell to the forces members themselves. So there's some different opportunities, but certainly it would be some research and some investigation to know the specifics.
Awesome, thanks. I think I'll pick all the questions that relate to you first. So another question to you, does the government purchase organic insect repellent? Fantastic question.
I don't know. So I again would have to look it up through our buyandsell.gc.ca website. Would have to look it up through our there's another website, Proactive Disclosure. These are the websites that have this type of information on what the government buys and how we buy it. I would also say that, it's a really interesting prospect around, that one, in the sense that, from an organic, green, environmental perspective, do we buy it now? I don't know. Is it something that Parks Canada needs for their employees in the national parks? Perhaps it is. Is it something that the forces need, RCMP, those that are working out in the field? Perhaps it is. And so sometimes when it comes to that, it's about trying to connect to the departments themselves. And so we talk about how to connect to a department to investigate with them directly. It's one of those other big myths. It is absolutely okay to talk to a government department. It is absolutely okay to create awareness around your product and service that you have availability to provide to the federal government. And so we will show tricks on how to do that and how to navigate with those people in the different programs and departments, that is.
Awesome.
Marina, thank you for putting in the buy and sell website. Appreciate it.
There's a question in regards to database of procurement. I guess you've mentioned that, and I guess that's the link that has been posted. And just so there's a question here that says, no, I got this question from an email that says, okay, how do we navigate the government procurement side? Chris, how would we do that? I think I've got the answer for that anyways. We've got 2 workshops for Chris in September. So Chris will be taking the women through that process. But if you'd like to say something in regard to that.
Certainly, happy to. Yeah, 100%. I mean, the buyandsell.gc.ca website that was just put up there, I mean, it's got almost everything to do with government procurement, which is an incredible volume of information. And so one of the things that we try and do from our services, particularly in workshops and of course in one-on-ones with businesses, is to help to shrink down the time of trying to navigate through that thing. I mean, there's so much information there. You can read our supply manual if you really want to on how buyers actually make decisions for procurements. That's how much information is in there. So by all means, we are, you know, we would be happy to, like, I mean, from the workshop perspective, 100% yes. And from a one-on-one perspective, 100% yes. If you'd ever like to connect, we have regional offices across the country. I'm based in Calgary. Our team sort of technically takes care of the prairies, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and the Northwest Territories and Nunavut. We have regional offices in Vancouver, Victoria. We've got regional offices in Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and a group that covers the maritime provinces. But I mean, virtual environment, we're happy to help whoever, whenever, to be able to navigate that. So please reach out. It's probably the best way is through the workshops or with us one-on-one to help find the specific areas that are most pertinent for you in those sources of information.
Awesome, thanks. Another question for you, then I'll try to mix it up. This person would like to know how service-based businesses can get started. And what she means by service-based businesses: training, coaching, facilitating. How do they get started?
Oh, it's a fantastic question again. And so even just from a getting started point of view with the federal government, that is, there's a couple of key things. And for services, for a lot of services, especially professional services, we do the loose term for it is we do pre-qualified lists of suppliers. The technical term is we call it a supply arrangement. So you'll see terminology out there called a supply arrangement. It's really a pre-qualified list of suppliers. So what we do is we kind of vet suppliers that they have, you know, experience and history doing the work, not with the government, just at large. You know, can you show us that you can do the work? And what we do is we put them on a list, and then our government departments and agencies can then access that list in order to do contracts. And so one of the key steps is to register as a supplier with the Government of Canada. That's kind of a key first step, and that can be done through the buyandsell.gc.ca website. It is something that we can absolutely walk you through in order to get that. And so that's kind of a first step, because when you do that, you get this weird thing called a procurement business number. And when you get that kind of vendor ID with the Government of Canada, then that helps you move on to the next step of getting onto these pre-qualified lists of suppliers. So if you're in training, if you're in coaching, if you're in risk management, business consulting, anything to do with IT and IT related services, web design, geomatics, what else is there? Health, there's a section for health services. There's alternative dispute resolution, mediation type services. All of those types of things are parts of these pre-qualified lists of suppliers. And then that's where a lot of the contracts are accessed. So we can certainly help through the steps of that. We do that a lot to help businesses navigate those steps to get onto those lists and participate.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Chris. This question is for Stephanie. Stephanie, this person is the publisher of a healthy eating magazine and cookbook. Is there possibility for my publications? I know that one of the categories that we have for the iLaunchHERproduct is books and stationaries. So this person is she's got a cookbook, healthy living magazine. Is there a possibility for publications?
I would say yes, like just generally it would depend on the buyers, but we do have retail corporations that are in retail, and they would carry books and magazines. So I would say like that would be the avenue for that particular product. But again, you know, there's a lot more to it than that. But the general answer is yes, there is a place for that product.
Awesome. Thanks, Stephanie. This question came through emails for those that are unable to attend today's info session. So I got this email asking, are we going to receive guidance to register on the platform of WeConnect to get to the process of getting our women-owned logo?
Yeah, so as part of the iLaunchHERproduct, we have created some personalized support, and it will work in the form of special workshops where we have introductions to WeConnect International, as well as demonstrations on how to register on the We community. We're also going to be offering a special booklet with all the steps, as well as some office hours for the different cohorts, as well as our service team through an email. So there are many avenues where you will be able to get that personalized support that's, you know, above and beyond for this particular group. And I wanted to address the woman-owned logo. So the support that we'll be providing is for the first step, which is the registration. If you did want to pursue a certification, that's above and beyond this program. So you would then receive the logo that's on my background here if you meet the criteria for certification. But just to say that to be part of this project, you don't have to go through the full certification. We'll just get you to the registration, and you'll be able to take part in the project, and then pursue certification if you do wish to do that. So the point of clarification is registration will not get you the woman-owned logo, because that is an exclusive benefit of certification. So kind of the next level. I hope that clarifies the question, Ijibola.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Stephanie. So this question, I would direct it to you and Chris, because I mean, it's one of two ways. If your business is not registered yet, is this program for you? Does it limit your chances here? So I guess this person, Ada, if you can explain further, are you currently involved in business activity, but your business is not registered yet? So Stephanie, for somebody that is already, you know, doing business and all of that, and not registered.
Yeah, you do need to have a business registration number to, you know, to take part in the WeConnect activities. And I'm not going to speak for Chris, but that's probably one of the requirements. Certainly our buyers, the 130 national corporations, would likely not do business with you if your business is not registered. So definitely a first step.
Awesome. Chris?
Yes, likewise for us. When I was mentioning the supplier registration, that's to register as a supplier interested in selling to the government. And there's two pieces of information required in order to do that. Your federal business number and your legal business name. Those are the two pieces of information, and then the process is about 20 minutes. So yeah, from that federal business number, GST number, the first 9 digits is required in order to do that. It's one of the other that is certainly a fundamental for that registration with us. But it does lead to a couple of things around the sort of myth busting who we do business with, and we will have contracts with one-person shops. We will have with partnerships with small businesses, with startups, with social enterprises, with nonprofits, large, obviously, corporations as well. But it really, fundamentally, the structure of the organization really does not matter when getting a contract with the federal government. As long as you're legally allowed to do business in Canada and you can meet the requirement for the good or service we require, you can participate. We might have something where it says you need some certain experience. I imagine when we built the Champlain Bridge, we probably asked for some experience in building giant bridges. But the structure of the company is we leave that to how industry organizes itself and how industry operates. So the business number, legal business name, that is what's required for registration with us as well.
Awesome, thanks. I'll move to banking now. We've got questions regarding banking. So Deborah, are you ready? Is it possible to open a business account virtually with TD?
To open a business account, I didn't hear the end of your...
This question is it possible to open a business account virtually with TD? And I'll try to explain that.
Virtually.
For most of the people that have put in their application, of course, we see people interested in opening an account with TD. So let us advance this question. Will the accounts be opened virtually, or they would need to visit a branch? For everyone that has included in their application, they want a bank account, a business account. Will that be done virtually? Since we've got women from all over Canada, putting in application.
Exactly. I think you pretty much summed it up, Ejiobola, because we've been in the situation that we're in for the last 18, 17 months right now. So of course you can open your business account virtually. So that's the first yes. Considering also that when you open an account, a banking account that's valuable. And that's exact for any type of business account or even any bank. You need to submit some pieces like ID and whatnot. There might be a need for you to go to a branch, but yes, you can open a business account virtually. So that's the first answer to the question. And I may have, and I may need it to add a precision. I am not a banker, so maybe to some questions I won't be able to answer correctly, but I will make the promise to go back and give you the right answers, but feel free to ask me any questions that you have from the participants.
Awesome, thanks a lot, Deborah. This question came through email, and the person wants to know for the business credit card, because online we have, and through email, we had responded to their application to say they're going to get connected to TD Bank for everyone that opted in for a credit card. So the question is, how long is the process going to take to get a business credit card? She also said, I've been waiting forever to have a business credit card. So how long will this take? I think she sounded so excited. Right.
And I'm so happy I got the opportunity to validate that aspect with a colleague before joining this call. What they have assured me is it takes from 3 to 5 business days. So that's a rather short, I would say, time frame for anybody asking for a business account. Of course, depending on if there are, you're eligible for the business account, you actually have a business that has an official number for us to register that business account, but it takes from 3 to 5 business days. So within a week, you're able to have that business account open.
Awesome. So another banking question. This person said, I had indicated I would need over $10,000 in business credit card. What would that entail? I have gotten a lot of disappointment severally. That's how she put it.
Again, not speaking from a banker's perspective because I am not one. But you know, from what I've gathered, chatting with a few colleagues, of course, some background info on the company based on how long the company was created, how many revenues that you're making for us to be able to validate that credit aspect. Are you able to repay that credit? In terms of your credit history, again, at a personal level, to be able to have, I don't want to use the word guarantee because for that amount, 10K, it's not that much for us to require like a guarantee from your house. Let's say, for example, that you see sometimes if you're asking for a bigger amount, like 100K, but it will take like background info on the company, how long the company was created, and some background info on the revenues that you're making, just for us to be to know that you're going to be able to repay the credit. So I would say that these are the different aspects that we'll look into to be able to have for you to have access to that credit card.
Awesome, thanks. This question goes to EDC or BDC. So Jennifer, Marina, either of you can answer this. So the question is, so I get selected into the iLaunchHERproduct. The buyer wants me to deliver certain number of units. How quick will I have access to funding?
Do you want to go ahead? Jennifer, do you want to go ahead, or I can go ahead? You let me know.
Please go for it, Marina. I think this falls probably more in your bucket.
Yeah. So I'll repeat what Deborah said. I am no banker. However, I know that you have to go through a process of registering on BDC, being evaluated. It's a process that can take a certain amount of time, but we do offer what we call a PO financing, so a purchase order financing for entrepreneurs. I'll put the link within the chat in order for you to get a little bit more information on that specific financing. Exactly, is it going to take 3 to 4 business days? It doesn't take usually 3 to 4 business days. Let me be honest with you, because collecting your information in general necessitate a little bit more time. However, if you want to have more information on this, you can definitely contact me and I'll get you in touch with one of our account managers who are experts on the matter and who will be able to evaluate from your business point of view or perspective, how much time would it take, what would you need, and really the goal, I think, of this program and this project is for us to be able to evaluate where are you at and how can we get you to that stage where when you request financing, it doesn't take a long time because you have everything already in your pocket to make it happen. So I know I didn't answer totally the question. However, please do reach out and I'll put you in touch with somebody who can.
Awesome, thanks. So Jennifer, I think this is more towards you. So she said she's got our products in a couple of stores across Canada. She would love to go into the US. Will there be a support in the iLaunchHERproduct to help her navigate and get international?
Yes, that's a great question. And certainly, you know, EDC is here to support exactly that, whether it's providing information about, you know, how to plan for expansion into the US or how to navigate the different rules and regulations. I was actually going to put in the chat one of the great tools that EDC has. It's an online export help hub where, you know, entrepreneurs can enter questions or seek answers to really most commonly asked questions about starting to export. Exporting is a journey and there's many steps to take. And so depending on where your company is with respect to selling outside of Canada, there's different things that you'll need. And so through participation in iLaunchHERproduct, we can go through what those different resources are at different stages of your business readiness for export, and actually help you discover, are you ready to export, and what do you need to be able to export. So that's the long way of saying yes. I think there will be support and help in that regard, but it will be, we'll need to better understand your situation and your needs. Hopefully that answered the question, Ijibola.
Yes, you answered perfectly. So Stephanie, this question is for you. What would be the eligibility criteria other than women, being a woman of color, or having more than 51% owned in your to be top 50?
Yeah, and that's a great question. It starts with the 51%, but what we want as part of this project is we want the top 50 businesses to really have the best chance possible in front of these buyers. So we're going to look at the business readiness in terms of their strategy, their readiness, like commercially, the finances, the operations, the people. So, and I realize those are just like high level, but within that, there's a number of different criteria that we would be looking at. And it could be things like, what level of insurance do you have? Do you have contingency plans for, your people in your company? If like a top executive left, or do you have a sales team? And these are just examples that I'm giving, but what we look at is based on what the buyers want and need in order to do business with you. So it's not necessarily like what We Connect is saying that you need to have, but we base it really on what the buyers collectively tell us that make a business successful and increases their chance to to get their products, like you said, Ijibola, like get the product on the shelf. So that's the short answer. It's there's many more things that we look at, but overall it's those main categories. So strategy, commercial, finance, operation, and people.
Okay, and I've got my own personal question to what you just said, just to make it more clearer. So considering that this project is, going into 2 phases, right? Yeah. So we do have time for some businesses to get some things in place. For example, perhaps they don't have insurance, even though they don't have now. Is that something we would say, okay, if you can get this before this certain time, then we see you as a top 50 potential?
Yeah, I'm not going to say no to that, because that's definitely a possibility. But what we will be looking at in all of the, the businesses that apply to be part of the iLaunchHERproduct, we're going to select the top 50. So in a situation where the top 50, let's say, are on the highest level of readiness, those would be the top 50 that are selected. So yeah, it's more nuanced, but I'm not going to say like if you don't have everything perfect at the beginning, it doesn't mean that you're automatically taken out of the running for the top 50. So that's how I would like to leave it for the participants.
Awesome, thanks. So Jennifer, back to you. What is the export process requirement for a sustainable clothing brand?
So that's a great and loaded question, Ijibola. I just put into the into the chat the address for our Getting Started page on edc.ca. I would recommend that this is a great place to start. There's many, many tools and resources. My recommendation for anybody that's considering starting to export is to really think through your export plan. And that entails many different aspects of exporting that you need to figure out specifically for your business. EDC has tools and resources that can help walk you through those or answer very specific questions. But there's also programs like the Trade Accelerator program, which is another great ecosystem initiative where there's partners coming together to help you walk through creating an export market plan. Planning will really help you avoid some major and expensive mistakes and to help you get the right information you need to take that step. So I recommend starting there. It's not really a question we can answer in 1 minute.
Excellent, thank you. So Sandra is asking, she's got 2 businesses, one communication coaching, and then she's got other business where she sells cards, greeting cards. I believe that's what she's referring to. So she wants to know, should I apply to this program just because I've got the coaching side and then the stationery side? Yes, the answer is yes. Please apply separately for the coaching and then for your stationery. Yes, please, because the stationery side is the product, your coaching side is the quiz side. Making the government to be part of, you know, having government as a client, or probably through this product too for Stephanie, if we've got buyers that are into the coaching request. So yes, put into applications for that. And the other question here says, I don't know who this goes to. Okay, question for Stephanie actually. Will there be a specific price? Okay, I think she's asking, will there be a cost to being a woman-owned certified, like to get the certification? Is there a cost to it?
Yes, there is a cost to certification now, and it's based on the business's annual revenues. But I want to clarify that as part of this project, we're not taking everybody through the steps to go to certification, because that's something that, you know, certification is like a globally recognized process. So it has its own criteria to be met. It wasn't, what I'm trying to say is it wasn't part of this program that we would lead everybody through the certification, but we're certainly leading everybody through the first part, which is the registration. If you are identified as like a top 50, or you just want to pursue your certification, we can certainly you know, help you through that process, but it'll be above and beyond this particular program. And yeah, I think, and yeah, so there's no cost to registration, but there is a cost to certification.
Awesome, thanks. This question is for Chris. Chris, I would like to know what the federal government is doing about reducing red tapes. The buy and sell website seems quite complicated. What is your agency doing to help with simplifying the steps?
Whew. How long do we have? Well, there's a short answer and a really long answer, I suppose, depending on how you look at it. But I can say there are a number of initiatives. There's no doubt there is an incredible volume of information, and yes, there is certainly red tape and there's layers. And at the federal level for procurement, we're dealing with the most amount of layers because we, at a certain point, deal with international trade agreements and our obligations to our trade agreement partners around the world, which then adds other layers of complexity into the procurements that we do. So by all means, there are things that are, you know, in law and in these agreements that we can't change. However, there are certainly things that we are doing, and some things that I've been involved with directly. So I was part of a contract simplification initiative, which is really, and I've seen the results of that at the end, which has been really, it's actually quite well, for a geeky procurement guy talking about contract structure, it's pretty exciting. So meaning that right now, when I talk to a business about how to read our documents, so if you find a procurement, a solicitation that you are interested in, I actually teach through the workshops and one-on-one. When you first get our document, the best thing to do is to read it backwards. Now, that either makes complete sense because it's the government, or it's like, really, I need to read your document backwards? And the reason for that is the number one question for a business is, do I want to submit a bid? And so to figure that out, the number one thing to figure out is, can I actually supply, can I meet the requirement? Well, our requirements are always in Annex A at the back of the document. That's where you're actually going to find the requirement in our document. So that's why I always teach to read it backwards. Now, the contract simplification initiative is actually, believe it or not, supposed to turn all that information around so that the suppliers, the businesses, the most relevant information for the businesses is at the front of the document. It's supposed to shrink down the clauses. It's supposed to reduce the amount of information and clausing that's in. It's supposed to merge clauses where we've created duplication over years and years and years. And so that's one area. One other big area that we're working on, which impacts businesses, particularly small businesses directly, is in payment. How does payment work? Because of course, cash flow is so important for a business, especially a small business and a startup. And so I will say our fundamental clause is 30 days after invoice that we have to pay. Now that's can be very hard on a small business to wait that long to get paid, especially in a digital environment where payments are digital. So there is a prompt payment pilot, which you won't see anywhere. It's not written, there's no clause about it, but it's a net 15. So it's 15 days after after invoice rather than 30. I hope to get it down. I hope to see it get down to 10 and 5 and 3 and 2. So that it, you know, because the technology is there to do that. Will we see it ahead? Not likely. It probably won't be advance payment. While we do have exceptions for that, it will. I don't think it'll ever be the norm, simply because we're dealing with taxpayer dollars, and so the accountability of dealing with taxpayer dollars to make sure we receive what we're supposed to receive. There's, you know, our fundamental standard clause, I can never imagine it being ahead of delivery. I always imagine it's going to be after, but I'm hoping that it'll shrink down. So those are a couple of things that they can speak to. There's some others, but those are some of the areas we're trying to get to. Oh, I should mention one other big one. The one other big one is that we are transitioning from buy and sell, the .gc.ca platform, into the Canada Buys platform, which will be an electronic procurement solution. So it'll be run through Ariba platform, which then has a more digital structure to submitting bids. So that we're slowly transitioning to that platform, and so there'll be some simplification in submitting a bid through that digital platform. So we're working towards that. But excellent question. Thank you for that.
Thanks a lot, Chris. So questions regarding the next step. I would answer that question this way. If you have not put in your application yet, that is the first step. Put in your application. Let us receive your application. Once we receive your application, you get a response with the details of the next step. So what is the next step? The next step is we've got several activity lined up in the coming month. For example, we've got We Connect International in August, where they are going to take us through letting us know every details about what they do at We Connect, and then taking us through how to register free online to be part of the We Connect and have access to other resources. So that is happening in August. And in September, we've got TD Bank connecting you all, particularly every one of you that have indicated you want a business account and you need a business credit card, connecting you with TD. That would happen in September. The reason it's happening in September, because the deadline for this application is the end of July. So we need to put together every detail of the people that need that, send it to TD, and then you get started with them. The same September, we've got Chris and his team taking all the women that would like to have the government as a client, taking them through the 2 workshops on how to do that and get started online. So this question is for Jennifer. I'm not sure if you answered this yet. How can we get a list of some requirements to start getting things in place to be able to meet the top 50?
So I'm not sure that's necessarily a question for me, Ijibola, although it may be addressed to me. I think perhaps between you and Stephanie Fontaine, that would be more addressed by you. But I believe there will be some workshops, right, that will take the participants through, various sessions to discuss being shelf ready, and will be discussed then, correct? Stephanie, I don't know if you want to add any other information based on the plan.
Yes, as part of the introduction to We Connect International, the sessions that are coming up in August will go through some of the high-level items that you can do to prepare.
Great, thanks. There's this question is asking so Chris, for somebody that offers, or Stephanie, I'm not sure, for somebody that offers virtual business administrative services, would they be eligible to apply in this program? Are there organizations or buyers out there that require the services of virtual business administrative services?
I've definitely seen some of them. Like we said, there's a lot of other requirements. So to sell to a corporation, so we need to better understand the business as as they go through this program. But yes, there's some really successful businesses out there that offer this service, and it's purchased.
And I think from a federal government perspective on what we purchase, we certainly have some. I mentioned pre-qualified list of suppliers before. We have a couple. One's called temporary help services, and which includes an administrative section for administrative services, whether that's in person or virtual. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's certainly something that we contract for and have in place for departments and agencies that are in need of, whether it's 3 months, 4 months to fill a human resources gap at any given time, or potentially for longer term. So the type of contracts exist. Exactly how, it's something we'd have to explore, but it's certainly there.
Awesome, thanks. I see a lot of people going to the site of EDC already. So somebody is really appreciating Jennifer for that link. And she said, I just discovered I have been in the international services exporter for years without knowing it. That is the intent, the purpose of this program. There's so many opportunities out there. The women do not know about it. We're bringing you that information. We're bringing you all of those things. Hopefully I can get to copy everything here and put it online as a resources for the women so that they can have access to it. However, the recording of today's information session would be online later today. So please visit our website, the Sedulous Women, no, www.sedulouswomenleaders.net/launch. You're going to see the recording of today's information session, and we can go from there. I believe there is also a question here. Oh, not a question, Abena. So Abena says, I'm already in Sobeys. Wow. I am able to participate. Yes, you are. You're already in stores. So let's look at how you can get into more stores beyond Sobeys or even beyond Canada. Yes, you can. Please put in your application if you've not done so. So I guess we are done with all the questions, and I will let Lola take it from here.
Well, thank you, everyone. What a wonderful session we've had, and thank you for staying with us. And what a great informative session we've had. You will agree with me, for the past 1.5 hours we spent together is worth every moment, every second. And thanks for answering our questions, and thank you for your time. I believe the vision and the objective of the iLaunchHERproduct project will make us excited, and we want to go into business on this wonderful journey. Together, we all can get more women-owned products on retail stores in Canada, and we encourage you to keep sharing the flyer and the link to the program across all your social media platform and among your immediate networks as well. For those of us who couldn't make it to this information session, please, the replay, like Ejibola said, the replay will be posted on our website, www.sedulouswomenleaders.net/launch. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn at the Sedulous Women Leaders to keep up with our daily updates about this project, the iLaunchHERproduct project. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We do appreciate you from the bottom of our heart. So please do feel free to send us an email or any questions if you need further clarification, or you need to connect with us after today's session. I wish you all a wonderful weekend, and thank you for your time. Bye for now.
She steps out into a land unknown, determined to succeed, as fixed on a prize. Nothing can stop her. She's all out, inspired every eye, and never will give up until at the top the world is an oyster. Sedulous woman, the new girl boss. Sedulous woman, the new girl boss, impacting our world. That's the way it goes. See you at the top where we all belong. Oh, I'm sedulous. Oh, I'm sedulous. Oh, I'm sedulous. Sedulous, sedulous woman, the new girl boss. Sedulous woman, the new girl boss, impacting our world. That's the way it goes. See you at the top where we all